We've known for many centuries the earth is like a sphere, not flat. A Greek called Eratosthenes one day thought he could use that fact. A stick he planted in the ground and saw how long its shadow lay, and trigonometry was good for more than just the time of day. By calculating carefully the angle of the midday sun, and noting that in southern town Syene the sun's reflection shone, reflecting from a well directly back up at a passer-by, he knew how big the earth was, quite impressive for an ancient guy. Plato thought the earth was at the centre of the universe. Ptolemy said epicycles made the maths a bit less worse. Copernicus said no, the sun is in the middle actually, but Brahe did not realize the Bible is part poetry. Then Kepler asked them why with circles terribly obsessed were they, when if instead we use ellipses all our problems go away. Galileo thought that using telescopes seemed lots of fun, saw lunar mountains, Jovian moons, Venus's phases, spots on sun. He told his friend Pope Urban VIII, Earth ain't the centre anymore. Then Pope told Galileo, you're locked up, not getting out the door. A mathematician, Isaac Newton, came up with a special rule, and now if you think Earth is at the centre, you're a special fool. There's Galileo, Galilei, Kepler, Newton, Cassegrain. They all made telescopes so we could marvel at the stars again. Reflectors and refractors with their lens and mirrors polished bright, and now we have robots and electronics to observe the night. We now knew how the solar system, planets, moons and orbits flow. We knew the planets' motions very, very, very long ago. But Edmund Halley didn't know how far it was to other lands, so set about discerning how to tell the Venus-Earth distance. He would be dead, he realized now, before his plans could come to fruit, but wrote it down so scientists in future knew he was astute. 100 astro-nerds watched Venus transiting across the sun, and now we know how big the solar system really is. What fun! Johann Bayer thought the stars without names could do with a tweak, so he said, now I've fixed it, let's use letters, I hope you know Greek. He used the genitive form of the constellation's Latin name. I don't know what that means, but these days naming stars is not the same. Now once there was a Frenchman who went by the name Charles Messier. He only liked the comets 'cause the other things were messier. He catalogued the objects that he classified uninteresting, but lots of other scientists found all those items quite the thing. From Denmark came John Dreyer, and a major task he undertook to find more of the objects in the sky that Charlie M. forsook. Astronomers around the world made contributions to the log in Dreyer's book, which now we call the New General Catalogue. The planets were just 6 back then: Earth, Venus, Mercury and Mars, and further out lay Jupiter and Saturn, plus the moon and stars. The Herschel siblings Caroline and William used telescopes to peer into the depths of space. Uranus satisfied their hopes. But something wasn't right, the French Urbain Le Verrier saw now. The orbits didn't work, the planet's motions were perturbed, but how? He calculated where the strange commotion had its origin, and Johann Galle searched and found where Neptune all this time had been. Another bit of maths discovered some small rock found by Tombaugh. 11-year-old Greek enthusiast Venetia said, Pluto! Then JFK and Khrushchev had an itty-bitty tiffy-spat. They didn't want to blow each other up, so they decided that, instead of fighting, we could challenge each other to have a race. Where would they race? The Great Adventure. Let's see who's the first to space. So JFK said, we will win, we'll beat you, you'll see one day soon. Then Armstrong, Collins and Buzz Aldrin flew a rocket to the moon. Enrico Fermi looked for aliens, but none would talk to us. In all the universe, are humans all there is who make a fuss? Frank Drake agreed and came up with the Drake equation to find out how many aliens we should be able to hear make a shout. Hipparchus, or some other Greek, gave stars a thing called magnitude, where 1 is bright and 6 is dim, and then there was an interlude, till Norman Pogson didn't like the vague and contradictory system and came up with a better one and declared victory. Hertzsprung and Russell worked together on their famous diagram, a graph of stellar temperature and brightness. Learn for your exam. Annie Jump Cannon classified stars by colour, then asked advice. Cecilia Payne said red is cold and blue is hot. That's very nice. John Goodricke long ago saw stars that varied in their magnitude. Much later, Henrietta Leavitt Swan thought this was somewhat crude. She analysed their properties and found a cool relationship. The brighter ones would vary faster, very useful. Now we skip to Heber Curtis, finding Cepheid stars beyond the Milky Way. But Harlow Shaplow disagreed. Galaxies that aren't ours? No way. Then Edwin Hubble, building on Swan's work, found distant galaxies were moving faster, fleeing Earth. On this the data quite agrees. There must be something happening to make the universe expand. It turns out it all started with a massive, violent, great, big bang! Now when a star dies, what comes next? A white dwarf or a neutron star? Depends on if the mass exceeds the limit of Chandrasekhar. But if it's really, really big, what happens when the star dies off? A black hole, if the mass exceeds Tolman, Oppenheimer, Volkov. Now back to Hubble. What thought he of galactic variety? A tuning fork with structures spiral S or ellipsoidal E. Carl Seifert found some galaxies shone brighter than they really should, and hoped none sent their energy to Earth, for that would not be good. Big Bang, said Hubble, is it true? Some thought the theory quite absurd, till Penzias and Wilson had some trouble coming from a bird. They scrubbed the guano till their telescope was shining clean and free of dirt and grime, but nothing they could do would solve the mystery. A radio signal came from all of space, answers did not abound. Then Robert Dickey had a look and said, "Oh my, look what you found. I'm very happy that you thought to bring me here, for you have sprung surprise on me. This is a first, a photograph of the Big Bang." Now these are all the many astronomical celebrities that you should know if you would like to study a GCSE in the exquisite, wonderful subject we call astronomy. There's plenty more that you could learn, but now that's all there is from me.